Hello everyone, this is Sane BV and today's our chapter is chapter number 1, Market Milk, and our today's point is characteristics of milk of different mammals. Point number 1 is ass milk. So ass milk has a maximum percentage of water, that is 90%, while small sea animal, example porpoise, dolphin milk has a minimum percentage of water, that is 41.1%. And elephant and whalefish or the milk of the whalefish has maximum fat percentage, that is 19.67%, while minimum fat percentage is observed in the milk of ass milk having minimum fat percentage. Then dog and porpoise milk has maximum protein content, that is 11.2%. Dog milk and porpoise milk have maximum protein, that is 11.2%, and an elephant milk has maximum lactose. Lactose means it is milk sugar. So elephant milk contains maximum lactose percentage, while lactose is absent in the milk of whalefish, or in the milk of whalefish, lactose or milk sugar is absent. The next one is Renadier milk. That Renadier milk is rich in ash or some mineral material or ash content, that is 1.5%, while human milk is poor in ash content. So the percentage of ash in human milk is 0.1%. It is very small quantity or small amount. So our next point is factors affecting composition of milk. So milk is used as a food and for a manufacture of dairy products. Different dairy products are synthesized with the help of milk. The variation in the composition becomes economically important from the market value point of the product. Also, it has important food value from the point of human diet also, especially for infants. Therefore, the milk differs widely in composition. So, milk from individual cows show greater daily variation than mixed herd milk. Similarly, milk from small herd, that is small cattle, shows greater variation than the large ones. So, small cattle shows greater variation than large cattle. The order of variation in the major constituents is like this. First one is a fat, then then second one is a protein, then next one is ash, and last one is milk sugar or lactose. So order is like this: fat, protein, ash and sugar. So there are different factors which affects the composition of milk. So we are going to discuss the factors affecting the composition of milk. Number 1 is species. Different types of species are responsible for composition of milk. Each species gives milk of a characteristics composition. So that species is also important for different factors of milk, or it also affects the factors. It also affects the composition of milk. The next one is a breed of that individual cow or buffalo. The breed is one of the important factor which is responsible for the composition of milk. Generally, the breed producing milk with a high fat content that produce less milk than those producing milk with the lower fat content. Means if milk is in small quantity or small amount, or less milk which contains great fat content, or more fat content, or more milk gives less fat content. So amount of milk yielded is directly proportional to 1 upon fat content. So this is general formula, that amount of milk yielded is directly proportional to 1 upon fat, or which is inversely proportional to fat or percentage of fat. So this is second point which is also responsible for composition of milk, that is breed. Then third one is interval of milking. Okay, interval of milking. So composition of milk is not affected by different intervals between milking except fat percentage. In general, a longer milking interval results in more milk with lower fat content. That's why this interval of milking is also responsible for fat content of milk, or it is also this also affects the composition of milk. Then next point is individuality or individual animals. So the individuality is also responsible for milk content. So fat percent of milk of cow is inherited character. Therefore, other things being equal, the fat percent of milk is individual cow changes to some extent. In Jersey cow or in Jersey breed, the fat contents ranges from 3.28 to 9.37%. In Holstein, this Holstein is also foreign breed. Jersey is also foreign breed. In Holstein cow, the fat content of milk is 2.6 to 6%. In Sindhi cow, Sindhi is our Indian breed. In Sindhi cow, the fat percentage is 4.65 to 6%. And in Gir cow, Gir is also our Indian breed. So in Gir cow, the fat percentage is 4.54 to 5.76%. So this factor or individuality of that particular animal is also responsible for composition of milk. The next one or next factor is stages of lactation. The lactation period for most animals may be divided in three stages. First one is colostral stage, second one is normal stage, and third one is extended stage. There are three stages of lactation: colostral, normal, and extended stage. So first one is a colostral stage. This is the period of 3 to 5 days. In some cases or in some individual breeds, there are 10 days, 3 to 5 days, or sometimes it is 10 days. Immediately after parturition, this is the period of 3 to 5 days immediately after parturition. At this stage, lactose, fats, and sometimes casein content is less, whereas the total solids, ash, albumin, globulin protein, and non-protein nitrogen is higher than the normal milk. So it is very rich in minerals and antibodies. So this first stage is colostral stage, or this is first stage of lactation. Then next one is a normal stage. The period generally extends from 10 days to 10 months. This normal stage extends from 10 days to 10 months. During this period, milk attains a normal chemical composition. So this second stage is normal stage, and which extends from 10 days to 10 months, and in this period milk attains a normal chemical composition. So this stage also responsible for composition of milk, that is normal stage. Then third one stage is extended stage. This period lasts for few days after normal lactation stage. It is last for few days after normal lactation stage. So during this period, percentage of most of the milk constituents increases except lactose. So this third one stage is extended stage. This one is also responsible for composition of milk. So next point is different portions of milking. The milk drawn from the udder may be divided into three different portions. First portion is foremilk, second one is middle milk, and third one is stripping milk. There are three different portions of milking, or which is divided into three different portions. First one is foremilk, then second one is middle milk, and third one is stripping milk. So first one is a fore milk, that milk of first few streams is also known as fore milk, the milk of first few streams. Then second one is middle milk, that is major portion of milk. Middle milk contains major part or major portion of the milk. And last one is stripping milk, that last stream of milk from each quarter of the udder. This is stripping milk. The SNF, what is SNF? SNF means solids not fat. The SNF content of the milk in these three different stages is practically the same. The difference in composition is observed in the fat content. The fat content of fore milk is the lowest. First stage is fore milk, and in this stage fat content is lowest and rises gradually in the middle and ultimately in the stripping as much as twice or three times the percentage of fat as a whole of the sample. So there are three different stages like fore milk, middle milk and stripping milk are also responsible for milk content. So fore milk content 1.04% of fat and 8.64% of SNF, means solids not fat. Then middle milk or middle portion or major portion of a milk content 4.40% of fat and 8.37% of SNF. And last one stage is stripping milk. Stripping milk content 7.63% of fat and 7.77% of SNF. So fat percentage and SNF percentage are more in stripping milk or last stage, that is stripping milk stage. Then next factor is completeness of milking. This is also responsible for milk content. If the cow is completely milked, the fat content is normal. If not, the fat content is lower. The relation is the first milk drawn, that is fore milk, from a cow is low in fat, while last milk drawn, that is stripping milk or last stage, that is stripping, is a very high fat content. Therefore, completeness of milking is very important to know about the factors affecting composition of milk. So this is also important factor which is responsible for composition of milk, and that is completeness of milking. Then next one is frequency of milking. Whether a cow is milked 2 or 3 and 4 times a day, it has no significant effect in the fat test. Okay, so that frequency is also responsible for fat content. That frequency doesn't matter of fat content, that is whether a cow is milked 2, 3 and 4 times a day, it has no significant effect in the fat test. Okay, so next point is feeding. Feeding. It has only temporary effect on milk composition. Feeding of that particular breed or cattle has only temporary effect on milk composition. Good feed and care can increase the yield of milk but not the richness of product. Sometimes it increases the milk production but not the richness or quality of that product. The fat content of milk of a particular cow is a matter of hereditary and not of feed. It is directly responsible. It is not responsible for, it is not depend on the feed or feeding of that cow. This is hereditary. However, feed can affect the nature of the fat itself. For example, fresh pasture grasses or grass, that is pasture grasses, results in softer milk. If you feed cattle by pasture grass, which results in softer milk fat, which gives butter with lower melting point. Okay, that milk fat is a softer with lower melting point butter. And cottonseed milk produces harder milk fat and with quite high melting point. If that fats are harder, then the melting point is also high. So vitamin A content of milk increases in proportion of green feeding in the diet. If green feeding increases or green feeding of cattle increases, vitamin A content of milk is also increases. So this feeding is also important factor or which is also responsible for milk composition. Then next one is or next important point is season. The percentage of both fat and solid not fat, that is SNF, show a light but well defined variation during different seasons of the year. The fat content shows decreasing tendency in summer and increasing again towards winter. Fat content decreases in summer and increases towards winter. Then next important point is age of that particular cattle. The fat content in milk declines slightly as the cow grows older. If the age is more, if the cow is aged, then the fat content is also decreases slightly. Okay. Then next point is diseases and abnormal conditions of cattle. These factors may show a change in milk composition, especially when there is a decrease in the yield of milk. So this factor is also important for milk content. The next point is condition of cow at calving. The condition of that particular cattle at calving stage. If the physical condition of cow at this time or the calving stage is good, it gives milk with high fat content, and the poor condition of cow will result in lower fat content. If the cow having poor condition at calving stage, which will result in low fat content. The next point or important point is excitement. Both yield and composition of milk may show variation during period of excitement for a various reasons, like sometimes changes of milkers, fright of the animals or terror, sometimes fright of the animals because of terror or sudden fear or sickness, etc. So these things are also responsible for milk content. So excitement is also important point for milk content or which is also responsible for change in milk content. The next one is use of drugs and hormones. Some drugs may show temporary effect on the composition of milk. Hormones can affect the fat content and yield by increasing both of them. So that drugs are also changes milk content, or this is also important factor which is responsible for composition of milks. So here today we already have discussed different important points, factors affecting composition of milk and characteristics of milk of different mammal, then stages of lactations, then different portions of milking. So here we can stop. Okay, thank you.